to America's longest-running computer show, Sound Bytes. Call the show now at 966-JAZZ. That's 966-5299. Toll free 800-790-0415 or soundbytes.org. Now, alongside Steve Ray and Dave Enright, here's Nick Francesco on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Good afternoon, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all the chips in the PC. It is Saturday, the 21st day of December, Anno Domini 2019, and you lucky people, you're listening to Sound Bytes. I'm Nick Francesco.
I'm Dave Enright.
And I'm Steve Ray.
And at 6 minutes after the hour, we're going to be bringing you news, views, things to choose, nothing to lose. Kick off your shoes. Don't get the blues. Here comes the news. The big news, of course, is the German show is coming back. It'll be on after us today. And then starting, I don't remember if it's next week or after the first of the year. But for those of you who are German show fans, would you like to get a little closer, honey?
Somebody really likes a tall chair.
Yeah, this one too. And Al is like 11 feet tall, and he still has a seat. Well, okay. Anyway, here's the news.
He's used to being up high, even when he's sitting down.
Right. More than 267 million names, phone numbers, and user IDs of Facebook users were discovered on the dark web, according to cybersecurity researchers on Thursday. For the past 2 weeks, the massive trove of sensitive information was exposed to anyone who wanted to see it, according to a joint report from security researchers. The confidential records were first made available on December 4th, according to the researchers' timeline, and made their way to a hacker forum 8 days later. They were taken down Thursday after the researchers informed its internet service provider about the unsecured information, but not before sitting as a download in the hacker forum for a week. The database belongs to a criminal organization in Vietnam, I quote, according to the evidence. Most of the affected users, 267.1 million in total, were American. It's not yet clear how the information was accessed, but the researchers suggested it may have been collected through scraping, a process by which bots copy and collect data from web pages. Scraping is forbidden by Facebook's terms of service, but when like that matters.
Yeah, because the bad guys are always so well known for following the laws.
Yeah,
Right.
there's, law-abiding citizen.
Right, but when a profile is listed as public, it's easy to do. The leaked information may make victims easier to target with large-scale SMS spam and phishing campaigns. Facebook said, "We are looking into this issue, but believe this is likely information obtained before changes we made in the past few years to better protect people's information."
Which keeps getting lost.
Right. This is, of course, from the company whose boss famously said, "Privacy is dead. Don't expect any." Facebook has been scrambling to improve its handling of user data since the Cambridge Analytica scandal in 2018, which saw the now shuttered research firm hoover up the personal data of nearly 90 million Facebook users to better target them with political ads during the 2016 presidential campaign. Cybersecurity experts said this month's leak doesn't appear to be as bad as Cambridge Analytica. Yeah, it's 3 times as many people, but it's not as bad. But okay.
I love the way the ends justify that means.
Yeah, right.
Huh?
But that final judgment should be reserved when more details emerge. So our poll of the week at soundbytes.org. That's Bytes with a Y, Francis would remind you. Is Facebook users' names and phone numbers found on the dark web? Your choices are: no wonder my robocalls have increased. I never gave Facebook my number. Oh well, too late now. Who still uses Facebook? And other. And of course, if you picked other, leave your comments in the poll discussion forum. Right now, we currently have 99 votes. You could be the 100th voter. You could be the 100th voter on the poll. Who still uses Facebook in the lead with I never gave Facebook my number. Second. And of course, if you pick other, we would like you to leave a comment about it in the forums, and it's easy enough to do. All you have to do is go to soundbytes.org, again, Bytes with a Y, Scroll down on the right under Fascinating Stuff. You'll see the forum. Second forum down is the poll discussion. Currently, at least, the number one item under the poll discussion is 21 December 19, Facebook users' names, phone numbers found on dark web. And you can also give us a call, assuming you're not busy answering robocalls. 585-966-JAZZ. That's 966-5299. Toll free, 1-800-790-0415. We'll get to the phones in just a moment. But we should probably talk a little bit about putting all of your personal information on Facebook.
And it's not doesn't have to be you putting it. If your friend has
Right.
your information in their account, then it can
Yep.
be scraped.
There
as
you
well.
go. Yeah.
Right.
Although I should say one of the good things Facebook just did is they discovered a whole bunch of fake accounts that were AI generated profiles that were pushing out politically controversial topics to rile people up. So someone is still using Facebook to rile up and influence our elections.
Well, more importantly, there are still people who believe stuff they read on Facebook.
Yeah.
Well, that's the piece. Well, I read it on Facebook.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
All right. Yeah.
To all those of you watching on YouTube, hi.
Your volume is on.
My volume is down.
Is on. No, your
Oh,
computer
here. Yes. Okay. That would be this. Okay. That's right. I was playing Christmas music through here the other day. On my Bang & Olufsen speakers.
Yeah.
They're okay.
Whether you go for B&O or KBL or what's the other big one?
Bose.
Bose, yeah.
Yeah, Bose are the.
This Chromebook has B&O speakers. Very nice.
Harman
They're actually
Kardon,
very nice.
that's the other one.
What?
Harman Kardon.
Harman Kardon, that's the other one. And Beats by Dre, of course. Let's certainly not forget that's in here, right?
No.
What?
The Beats brand is completely separate from the Apple brand. They're just owned by the same company.
Okay. Alrighty then.
All right. That makes no sense.
And it is the way it works, of course. So I get it. But yeah, so definitely check it out in terms of what you put on Facebook. Be very careful what you tell people and what you put on and what you say in terms of your private information. What you say in terms of life, I don't care. But for your private information, be aware that it's available to everybody. Even if you make it private, half the time, Facebook makes a mistake and makes all that stuff public.
And then maybe apologizes and say we'll do better.
Right.
Yeah.
Somebody put together a list in the last 20 years of every time Zuckerberg was caught doing something wrong, apologizing and saying he'll do better. And it's like word for word, every single apology in the last 20 years.
Yes. Yeah, that's him. There's no question of that.
And we'll try doing better. And we'll try doing better. And we'll try doing better. And we're
Right.
going all in on privacy. Didn't he say that at a recent conference and people couldn't stop snickering?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yep. Just like Microsoft will get better at doing their patches.
Oh yeah, that's another one, of course. All right, to the phones. You can give us a call. 585. I did that already. So we'll talk. He's been patiently waiting on the line. Dan from Brighton. Hiya, Dan. What's up?
Hey, how you doing today?
Peachy, how are you?
Yeah, not bad. Okay, so I have a couple of old Lisa computers in the basement, and my wife would like me to find a new home for them. And I would like to make sure that I can wipe the drives before I do that. So, but when I turned on the computer, I had a vertical hold or horizontal hold problem, and the only two knobs to adjust it in the back are for brightness and contrast. So I have a twofold problem. First, how to view what I'm seeing on the Lisa computer. I tried whacking the top and the bottom and the sides. And that didn't work.
Percussive maintenance, we call it.
Yeah. So is there some sort of adjustment somewhere for the horizontal and vertical hold that I can get to?
I don't remember offhand. I'm trying to download a manual here to see. And I don't remember if there's an external video port. That's the only model we don't have in our users group museum. So if you're looking to donate them somewhere, we can. The Apple Users Group locally is a 501c3 charitable organization.
Very
So
nice.
You may be able to deduct a donation on your taxes. Consult your tax attorney.
I don't think it would be the whole $10,000 that originally
No,
cost.
yeah, the original cost or current value, yeah.
Yeah.
Although we've seen some of them go, well, not least, some of the original Apple ones have gone for close to $1 million.
Right.
And it was funny. One went for $900,000. I think it was the Henry Ford Museum bought it, which was interesting. And then the next one to sell only went for $600,000, and they were disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, one's a 210 and one's a 5, I believe, a 2.5.
Yeah. The problem, of course, is that is so old that it's a real difficult thing to even find information on it anywhere. In terms of a service manual, you've come to the right place. Steve would be the guy who would have it, but they're so old, I don't know that anybody's got them anymore.
I'm seeing a couple of them online. I found the operator's guide, but I don't see. It's a scan. No, it is a searchable scan. So somebody scanned it and uploaded it. I don't see anything about horizontal or vertical hold. Let me see display. My guess is it's a knob inside the computer.
Yeah, I was going to say there's
There
probably
is one on the CRT.
because that's the CRT, and 10 to 1 odd. You got to take the chassis apart, and then on inside there are two like screwdriver flathead adjustments that you would then do the vertical and horizontal hold.
Oh, there it is, page 8. Hold on.
You found it? Which one did you find?
Hold on. That's page 2.2. Okay, so I've got a ways to scroll here.
Okay.
Seriously.
So a lot of those are things that people just scanned, which is nice that someone did it, and trying to find what it is and where to get it.
Put one hand in your pocket behind your back.
Yep, that was always in the CRT instructions. That way, when you discharge the CRT, you're not allowing a current to cross from hand to hand through your heart.
Right.
Oh.
Going through your heart is really bad. I just had to take a refresher course on electric safety, and they asked you to rank the severity of electrical burns. You know, from finger to finger isn't bad. From finger to leg isn't bad, but anywhere crossing your body is really bad.
Hand to hand.
Yeah, one hand to the other hand, because it can go through your leg.
Okay, I'm not. It's there. I have the technical manual. So what we're going to do is,
I just see a URL that won't come up. Which one did you find?
I did this and found that.
Oh yeah, at vintageapple.org. I should have thought of that. So there's a website, vintageapple.org, that tries to keep track of all the really old Apple stuff, and they have user's guide and technical manual there.
/Lisa info.
Okay.
And Steve is looking that up. We're going to You have to spell it right.
Yeah, it's too far away. I can't see it.
Well, you've got your tablet right in between. Move it over a little. Pull the thing forward. These are laptops. They are movable. They are portable computers.
Then my camera cable's not long enough.
First world problems, definitely. And
I could put my 25-foot extension on it. Then it's too long.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
At any rate, Dan, Steve is going to post that information onto our website, and it'll provide a link right to it.
Oh, fantastic. And the second part of the question is I have these external hard drives that are attached to the Lisa, and I would like to wipe them, but if I can't get the Lisa operating, is there a way to wipe on there, just
Well,
run
to
a
wipe
magnet
it,
over them or something, or
yeah, to
whatever.
wipe them
Well.
without any of that, you can just stick it in another computer.
Right, another computer to erase it, or you have to physically destroy it, which then would destroy its value.
Yeah, no, these are SCSI drives, I guess.
I don't know if they were SCSI yet then.
Yeah, they might have been
Parallel.
parallel
Might have been
drives.
parallel.
Yeah.
RLRs.
Okay, so I could hook
RLLs,
it up
I mean.
to another computer that could read parallel and wipe them that way.
It would probably.
Good luck.
Yeah, if you can find a computer that still has a parallel hard drive port, then it would come up as an unknown device because it probably can't read the Lisa file system.
Yeah.
Right, but you could reformat it.
Yeah.
But just getting finding another computer that would even be able to hook those drives up, having the connectors. If it's anything like a PC, there's no way in heck you'd have to get
I've
some.
got the connector. You got the connector.
Yeah, but
I mean-
no. What I'm saying is finding another computer to hook it up to.
Right.
And there is going to be the challenge. I mean, yeah, you've got the connectors from the old drive, but trying to take those connectors and hook them up to a newer computer, most boards don't have those connectors inside anymore.
Oh, I understand what you're saying. Maybe there's somebody out there in listening land that does have a working Lisa computer that I could connect up with, and maybe borrow their or bring this over to them, the external drives, long enough to wipe them.
Yeah.
That's an idea. If anybody's got a working Lisa, give us a call. Steve will get your. I've got your number, but Dave will get your number, and I think he's already got it. It probably came up, but I have it anyway, so it doesn't matter. If anybody has a working Lisa, give us a call, and we'll get you in touch with Dan. Thanks, Dan.
That's wonderful.
Good luck.
That's fantastic. Thanks for the help. I'll look for the website when you discover the right pages or whatever for this vertical hold situation.
Yep.
And thanks a lot for the help.
Thanks, and happy Hanukkah.
Yeah, you too.
Thanks.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Thank you, and thank you.
We had a customer bring in a 20-year-old Power Mac G4 that they desperately need repaired because it runs their $30,000 thingy that they don't want to have to replace. So, they might put $1,000 into fixing an ancient computer.
Sure.
So they don't have to spend $30,000.
See, now that makes sense. That actually makes a great deal of sense. So, I don't have an issue with that. All right. Quickly, we'll go to our friend Carl in Pottstown, PA. What's up, Carl? Carl?
Buttons on, potted up.
Carl?
Another button.
We lost Carl. Sorry, Carl. Call back, please. Please call back. We apologize. Dave's new. Dave's new to all of this.
Dave's phone just answered you.
Dave.
My butt just answered.
Ha. All right. It is what it is.
Okay, hold on.
Is this Carl? Do we have Carl back? Carl?
Yes, I'm here.
Carl from Pottstown, PA. Hi, Carl. Sorry about that. What's up?
Hey, how you doing today?
Peachy, you?
Good. I have a question about the cost of making phone calls. Many years ago when I was growing up, of course, we had local and long-distance calls, and long-distance calls cost more to make than local calls. But I understand, and tell me if I'm correct about this, that today, using either cell phone technology or a VoIP line, individual calls are no longer being charged for, so you get the same bill no matter how long distance your phone calls might be. Is that correct?
Yes and no.
Most regular landlines are that way too. They used to have to hire physical operators to plug switches in, and the longer distance your phone call was, the more operators it had to go through to get there. But most of the time now, nationwide calling with unlimited minutes is usually just one price. especially on the cell phone services, because they're now charging per gig for data, so they don't care about minutes, phone
Although
minutes
all
anymore.
of it goes over it doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay, don't get me started. But yes, if you are running a cell phone, check your plan. But I don't know that there's a plan left in the world that isn't essentially free phone calls pretty much everywhere, except to certain limited countries. If you're doing stuff over the internet using VoIP, it's exactly the same way. Whether you're calling the person next door or the person in Sri Lanka, it's all just going over the internet, and everybody's already connected. So there isn't any human cost to it. It's just what your not warranty, but terms of service are.
Okay, and brings me to the second part of the question, which is I've noticed that a lot of companies still have 800 numbers, and if most of the time phone calls aren't being charged for individually anyway, does it make sense for a new company to get a toll-free number?
Companies are still being charged by the minute
Right.
for business phone lines.
Right. Business phone lines still charge, and so getting an 800 number can be less expensive for a business. Now, if you are a small business, like 1, 2, 3, 4 people, grab yourself a $15 burner phone, grab a Google Voice number for it. You're done forever.
Yeah, and the other side of a business getting an 800 number is that people are used to calling 800 numbers.
Psychologically, it's important.
And when they had to open it up to 877 and 866, there was a real pushback from companies who people didn't think that was a toll-free number anymore.
Right.
And so it almost shows the age of your company if you actually have an 800 number, not an 877, 86. We had a customer get tricked by a fake Apple support number, and theirs was 833.
Yeah.
But yeah, so from a business standpoint, 800 numbers where you pay for the incoming call, as well as a typical business phone line, you pay for the outgoing calls too. Don't make any general sense anymore when people have unlimited long distance phone calls. But it's more that psychological barrier. Maybe in another generation or so, when kids are growing up now, will not know what an 800 number is. I've never called a company.
Right. May not know where a phone
change,
is by that point. But yeah, generally speaking, if it's a small enough company that you're not going to be involved in that kind of nonsense, then
and you don't need a nationwide phone number that you publish across the country.
Right. You can always purchase what we used to call burner phones, and now they're super cheap
Disposable
phones.
There's too many
I've done that
syllables.
more than once. You buy the phone. It comes with a couple of minutes of phone calls and a couple of texts, and that's more than enough to set up and verify a Google Voice number. So from then on, oh dear, I turned on my Google Assistant. From then on, you'll be well. All right then. From then on, you'll be able to use that over Wi-Fi as opposed to cellular, if that's the way you want to do it. I'm afraid we got to take a break. Do you want to stay on the line, or are we done?
I think we're done. Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks. Have fun. We're going to take a quick break. Dave Enright, Steve Ray, Nick Francesco, you 29 minutes after the hour. Soundbites, member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Computer talk you can understand. More Sound Bites is next on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Contributions over the years made through our pledge drives have brought great programming to our listeners. Creating a legacy gift to benefit Jazz 90.1 builds a bridge from one generation of public radio listeners to the next. Please remember Jazz 90.1 in your will, trust, or general estate plans, and join our Jazz 90.1 Legacy Society. You can also find out more by visiting www.jazz901.org.
Follow Jazz 90.1 on Instagram at WGMC Jazz 901.
Hi, I'm Dr. Anita Chandra with today's tip for kids from the American Academy of Pediatrics. Is your child stressed out? Like you, children and teens may feel a lot of pressure to succeed. Help your child address their problems head-on, breaking up tasks into small steps. Finding brief moments to laugh or do something fun helps counteract the stress. Sometimes cutting back on activities is the best way to relieve pressure. If you have concerns, talk with your pediatrician. For more, visit healthychildren.org.
The success of any business depends on its ability to offer value, a great quality product or service for the right price. Businesses themselves need to get value for the things they need as well. As an underwriter of Jazz 90.1, you can get the word out about your business, what you do, where you are, and how to reach you. Underwriting messages are straightforward, simple, and easy to remember. Underwriting at Jazz 90.1 is a great way to promote your business while supporting public jazz radio. For more information, call the Jazz 90.1 business office at 966-2660 today.
The Greece Central School District is currently hiring bus drivers and bus attendants, and training programs begin soon. For more information, including how to apply for these positions, you may visit greececsd.org and click on Employment Opportunities, or call 966-2000. Jazz 90.1 is supported in part by our members and by Rock Holiday Village, December 6th through 31st at Martin Luther King Jr. Park in downtown Rochester. This annual event will also feature Tastes of the Seasons, December 27th or 29th, including numerous food and drink vendors and a game room with arcade games and more. For more information, including a list of activities, parking information, and more, you may visit rockholidayvillage.com. Are you planning a vacation? Take the great savings you receive with your member card with you. Order a travel card to enjoy 2-for-1 benefits while you're away. Visit membercard.com/jazz901 to order travel cards and pay just a small fee to cover shipping and handling. You can also use the Member Card mobile app to take advantage of benefits at your destination. Don't have a Jazz 90.1 member card? Become a member today at the $90.10 level and above to receive yours.
Follow Jazz 90.1 on Twitter at 901jazz.
Hate Mondays? You and me both. This is Sanford Singlo with the Lowdown on Science saying there's a little Garfield in all of us. Everyone feels tired and overwhelmed sometimes. But for those with chronic fatigue syndrome, every day is Monday. Up to 2 million Americans suffer from CFS. It's hard to spot. Up to now, there has been no lab test for it. But that might be changing. Enter a team of Stanford researchers led by Ron Davis. They suspected the blood of CFS sufferers might have a unique response to stress. To test, they built a device that measures how blood conducts electricity. Researchers subjected blood samples from CFS patients and healthy subjects to stress and compared their conductivity. Result? Stressed blood from CFS patients didn't conduct electricity as well as blood from healthy subjects. The scientists used this difference to identify CFS patients with almost perfect accuracy. This work is a step toward accurately diagnosing and eventually treating chronic fatigue syndrome. Now, how to treat our inner Garfield? With some lasagna and a nap.
The Lowdown on Science is produced by LDOS Media Lab in partnership with the University of California Irvine Science Communication and 89.3 KPCC, and made possible with the generous support of the Fuse Family Foundation.
Jazz 90.1 weather.
Clouds will give way to some sunshine for your Saturday across Rochester, Western New York, and the Finger Lakes, as we begin a very quiet stretch of weather here across all of Western New York and the Finger Lakes. The high temperature in the upper 30s, certainly cold to start. Tonight brings patchy clouds and starlight, not as cold. The overnight low temperature in the upper 20s. The wind shifts into the southwest and gives us some much milder air for Sunday, with a fair amount of sunshine as well, the high in the mid-40s. I'm meteorologist Josh Nichols for Jazz 90.1.
And currently right now we've got overcast skies, 27 degrees out at the airport, and we are at a balmy 32 here at member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Hi, this is Rankin Shaver of member-supported Jazz 90.1 for Smooth Grooves Wednesday evenings from 10 p.m. until 1 a.m. on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Nick Francesco.
I'm Dave Enright.
And I'm Steve Ray.
And at 36 minutes after the hour, we are balmy or maybe balmy in our case.
A balmy 30 degrees?
Balmy 32.
degrees.
30,
balmy
is that,
32
is that
or
Celsius?
just us being balmy.
No, that's Fahrenheit.
32 Celsius would be awful hot.
Yeah, what, 32 Celsius.
That'd be what up in the 90s?
Yeah, I think so.
I think. It's
what was that in David Lynch's Dune? When they take the ornithopter out to survey the fields, you can hear the computer saying it's 300 kelvins. I looked that up. 300 Kelvin. It's like 70 degrees.
Yeah.
No
okay.
big deal. But this is supposed to be a desert planet.
Yeah.
It should have been like 400 Kelvin.
Right. All right. Before we go any farther, we got a text message. Thank you so much for this. If you have VLC, and he says on the Mac, but I believe it's on every
Kinda
system
universal.
today. VLC on the Mac, new Easter egg. If you look at the icon, it's a traffic cone, as you know. It's an orange traffic cone. Today it's got a Santa hat and a little bit of snow on it.
Like Steve said, though, it should be dented.
For all the
for people running into it and running over it.
Speaking of slipping and sliding, it's that time again. Woo. Ladies and gentlemen, those of you who are on YouTube can see I am holding up Rumballs. Yes, it's the Rumball Show. Hide the children, lock up your daughters. Here we go.
Nick's on the loose.
I'm on the loose. We're all oh, these are moist.
We have to agree not to eat one at the same time as another guy.
I'll take one for the team.
Well, I took some to work, and I distributed them to various offices, and of course the dispatch office was trying to sneak over into the call center and out to the mechanics to steal the rumballs.
Sure.
They go, no, these are too potent. You don't want to be doing. We'll take them off your hand.
Yeah, right. Oh man, these are good. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
Well done indeed.
Thanks.
For those of you who are new to this,
in Antigua, is it?
Yeah,
That sends you the rum.
Yeah.
Leroy Smith.
Dave. Wow. Oh man, it's the after kick.
That's what they said. Everybody was saying. Here's the one thing people don't quite understand is I make them, but I don't eat them.
No, you shouldn't. Not if you're going to be able to carry them in. Wow.
That's what everybody was saying that they loved was they were smooth going down, but then after you sort of digested it into your system a few seconds, then you get the full effect.
There's that kick a little. Hello, still here. Hello. Very nice. Dave makes, for those of you who are new to this, Dave makes rum balls every year. We can't convince him to make them more than once a year. He has a friend in Antigua who sends him a bottle of, I think it's 11,000 proof rum.
Antigua rum, yep.
That's certainly what it tastes like. And he makes these. Oh, I'm done. I'm one and done. We're done for today.
See, the body can metabolize 1 drink an hour.
There's the next 2 hours right there.
The next hour you could have one.
Maybe. Maybe. Holy moly, those are good.
Thank you.
And strong. So let me slur my way through another news story while you give us a call. 585-966-JAZZ. That's 966-5299 toll free. 1-800-790-0415. Google scrambled to fix a data storage problem that crippled some Android apps that use the company's Chrome browser technology. It halted distribution of the latest version of its Chrome technology to Android and began testing a fix immediately. Google faced a choice between storing access to older data, it's starting already, to older data or keeping any new data users might have created. The problem, one developer said in a bug report, is a disaster. What happened was they did an update to the WebView technology and screwed up the path to everybody's data. So if your app used WebView, it suddenly lost all your data. So if you had game scores or phone numbers or whatever your app held, those data were not gone. They were still in your machine. You just couldn't get at them. So you thought they'd been wiped out. So, for example, Chess Free, people lost their diamonds and boosters. Chess Online, players lost login information and therefore access to their game history. It illustrates the difficulties of maintaining and improving today's software foundations. Companies like Google, Apple, and Microsoft want to move as fast as possible to modernize those foundations, and the internet provides a conduit for keeping projects continually fresh. Update, update, update. But the software foundations are so complex and used in so many ways that it's difficult to find every potential problem. Talk to Microsoft about that. Still, Google has mechanisms like the Canary developer and beta versions of Chrome designed to catch such problems before full distribution. Unfortunately, those mechanisms don't extend to Android testing of apps that use WebView, and now we think it should. Well, we've always thought it should. Chrome and WebView offer various ways to store data on a phone, tablet, or personal computer. With version 79 of Chrome on Android and the related Android WebView technology variations, though, Google changed how data is stored using two programming interfaces, WebSQL and local storage, which is all one word. That cut off access by some websites and apps to old data. Happy ending, however. In a surprising and very welcome turn of events, Google has announced a fix for this bug delay days ahead of schedule, as well as the revelation that the impact had only hit 15% of Chrome users, not 50% as it was initially feared. So 1.5 instead of 5.0. In a statement, Google said it would also be able to recover user data feared lost. Rollout of Chrome 79 has resumed, so if you get an update, do not fear it. It should be the good one, as they stopped the old one. So, did you lose data in some of your apps? Give us a call, 585-966-JAZZ. It's 966-5299, toll-free 1-800-790-0415.
It's always a shame when your apps don't work.
It's we used to say that the big thing as a systems administrator, you could screw up anything except email. Now you can screw up anything but people's apps.
Yeah, nobody will notice.
Nobody, right. Everybody makes mistakes. Apple fixed them super fast, which is great. I mean, they clearly, it was all hands on deck. They cleared it up at least 2 or 3 days sooner than they said they would.
Well, when you have over 1 billion customers using your device,
yeah, you better be quick on the trigger for that. Unlike the monthly mistakes with Microsoft updates that they keep promising will be fixed next month before they introduce new ones. At any rate, back to the phones. Our next caller is Ed from Ithaca, New York. Hi, Ed. What's up?
Morning or good afternoon, guys. I have two little annoying problems on a Windows 10 computer. One is that when I plug my iPod into it, it opens and searches for pictures first. I said yes to that at one point, and I can't figure out how to say no, so it doesn't do that automatically.
Uh-huh.
The second problem is that when I just open a file window, where it lists all the files in a folder, it has this pane on the right that I want to get rid of, and I can't figure out how to do that. They're totally separate issues.
Yeah.
Preview pane is I think in the view menu.
Yeah, and I couldn't figure out how to eliminate that right pane.
The one that lists all the folders?
Well, and then in the last...
the right pane.
There's a preview of the thing you've clicked
right
on. It might be called preview.
It might be called preview. Okay,
yeah.
I'll see about eliminating that.
Yeah, you go in File Explorer, in the panes section, click the preview pane button.
Okay, and that should get rid of it. Okay, good.
It's under View, Panes, Preview pane.
Okay, I'll do that.
Right.
And for the other question, there's a setting somewhere in Windows, and I'm looking for it, that when you attach a camera, it automatically imports your pictures.
Well, this isn't quite that. It's not automatically importing them. It's searching for them on the iPod, and then says, "Do I want to import them?"
Right. Yeah. So there's a feature where it looks for cameras to see what you want to import. In the Mac, it's in the Photos app and then the Image Capture app, and I'm trying to find it in Windows. All the help I'm finding is how to import your pictures, not how to stop having it import.
Right.
Well, here's one from 2011, how to stop Windows from importing my pictures. It's the autoplay setting.
Autoplay.
So where...
Yeah, that's intuitive.
Yeah. Well, it's a feature of Windows, so when you plug a thing in, it automatically does something. So autoplay music, autoplay the app on the device. In fact, that's how one of the early malwares got around. Is it had an auto run on the USB disk, and the autoplay would automatically open auto run to automatically install malware. So go to Start and then Control Panels, and you said Windows 10.
Yes.
So this is Windows 7. So go into Settings and search for Autoplay. That's what it was called in Windows 7. So that's probably not what it's called in Windows 10, is it?
Well, you can try.
Not right.
Yeah. Let's see. Stop importing. Let me add Windows 10 to my search here and see, or turn off Autoplay on Windows 10. Windows 10 Autoplay.
Okay, so what you do is click the Windows key, or probably the best thing to do is to just click the Windows icon in the lower left corner, and then in the search bar type in Autoplay.
Yeah, Settings, Devices, Autoplay.
Right.
Okay. And then I'll be able to
Right.
turn Autoplay on or off.
Right, and that's probably the setting for removable drive.
Right. Now there's two settings you really want to do. You turn off. You can toggle on and off autoplay for all media and devices.
That's probably the one.
But you also, for removable drives and memory cards, set it to take no action. In fact, that may be the only one you need, depending on what mode your iPod comes up in.
So normally when you plug in an external drive, a window pops up and says, what do you want to do? And then there's a tiny checkbox at the bottom that every people miss that says, always do this.
Yeah, do this always.
Right.
And that's what sets the
It's
autoplay.
down in the lower left-hand corner.
Yeah. Okay. But once you've said always, then you have to go into your...
You won't see it again.
Yeah.
Right, you have to go into autoplay to turn it off.
Yep.
Okay. That should do it.
That should do it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all your help.
Sure,
Good
our
holiday.
pleasure.
Yep. We actually sold an iPod today.
Apple got rid of their iPod app. Not their iPod app. There was an app in the store, in the Apple store, that turned your iPhone into a click wheel iPod.
Oh.
And Apple removed it.
Violated some term in the...
I'm sure that just porked somebody off at Apple, and they don't care what you want. It's their computer.
There are web emulators for older devices, too.
Right.
But that's annoying.
Well, it's just low class, I think, and Apple controls your machine. It's not your machine; it's their machine. You just happen to be using it.
You're leasing it.
You're right. Next caller is Jeff from Greece, New York. Hi, Jeff. What's up?
Hi. I'm watching you guys on YouTube using my Fire Stick 4K that I just got on Black Friday.
Oh,
Nice.
We must look pretty bad in 4K.
I'm trying to do live chat using the Fire Stick. There is an icon within the YouTube app, but for some reason, it's not working properly.
What is it? Live chat?
Yeah, live chat. It's kind of as if the live chat is off of the screen on the TV to the right-hand side. It goes like, I'd say 1/3 of the screen. It's dark or light based on if I click on the live chat button.
Is there a way to do full screen view that you need to turn off so that it lets you see the other windows?
No, because I can see the suggested programming at the bottom. So I'm already not. Well, I think it's full screen, but it's showing some of the suggested, programming at the bottom. It's not the TV's. I don't know if it's the TV or if it's the Fire Stick or if it's the app that's the problem. But I can't do live chat.
One thing that I might first. What's your camera? What camera? And what's it plugged into?
There's no camera. I'm watching you guys on YouTube right now.
Oh, the
Fire Stick
YouTube
on my
live
TV.
chat.
and I'm trying to do the live chat feature, to be able to type because I have a keyboard for my Fire Stick.
Oh! You want the YouTube live chat?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So if you're looking, are you looking at it full screen?
Yes, I'm
That's your
looking
problem.
at you guys on my TV right now.
Is it full screen?
Yes.
Okay, make it not be full screen.
So the only thing I can do is like arrow down, and then I can see the title, and then the other stuff. I don't believe there's like full screen and small screen within. There's just the different video quality settings.
You can get to the video quality settings with the little gear.
Right.
Okay, 3 icons to the left of that should be an empty square with cutouts.
There isn't one. So the quality is the furthest to the left. Oh, there's 3 dots that says more.
Okay.
Then it says channel, live chat. So when I click on live chat, there's a little icon on the top right-hand side that says sound bites and then the date and the time. And that gets blacked out when I click on live chat, but I can't see anything further to the right of that.
Have you tried swiping to the right with the mouse controller or the controller?
Yeah, it won't let me go outside of the rectangle, basically.
Is this the Google player, or is it the YouTube app that came with the Fire Stick?
Let me check, actually. I believe it's the YouTube within the Fire Stick, but I know that there's probably YouTube on the Samsung TV as well. So let me figure out which one I'm in. Okay, yep. I'm inside of the Fire Stick using YouTube. The reason I know that is because PBS Kids is the next app over, and it's only available on the Fire Stick, not on the Samsung TV for some odd reason.
Right.
So that's another issue.
Yeah, it's a separate issue. Okay, I'm afraid I don't own a Fire Stick. But I'm looking it up. Amazon. Excuse me. Wow. You can use voice commands. That's kind of nice.
Now, do you know what the current app version is? Because I can tell you what mine is and see if it maybe needs to be updated.
Well, you should be able to update it from the regular update stuff from Amazon, right? So you should be able to do that. It may be that it. I'm just reading. No, that's a different
Okay.
issue.
I want to make sure I had live chat enabled, and I do.
Well, I've got. I can show chat here, and I can see the chat.
Yeah.
And so it is working on mine. Again, I don't have a Fire Stick. I'm not showing it full screen.
Mm-hmm.
If I do show it full screen, there's a little arrow that lets me share, but that's about it. Skip ahead to live broadcast. Okay. Yeah, I can. On my screen, because it's full screen. Mm-hmm. Next to the little gear icon is a little cross, which lets me exit full screen. And you're saying you don't have that?
No. Let me go. Yeah, so let me tell you what I've got. I've got the 3 dots that says more. And so I've got channel, live chat, pause. And then, go back to your old video. And then if I click more again, then I've got quality, save, like, dislike, subscribe, report, feedback, and stats for nerds.
And when you click live chat, you see nothing.
Basically, it just changes 1/3 of the right-hand side of the screen, dark or light, depending if it's on or off.
Right. And if you did that now, if you turned on live chat now, would you see anything?
No, I don't see any text from anyone. It just changes the color of the
Okay,
right-hand
go
side.
there right now. Make it turn on right now, and I will type something in live chat.
Okay.
Let me know when you're ready.
There weren't any chats in there, so maybe
I'm
that was it.
toggling it back and forth with my, OK button right now on the Fire
Well,
Stick.
leave it open for a moment. Let me know when you're ready.
Yep, go ahead.
Okay, I just typed the word testing.
Yeah, I can't see any text at all.
Well, it took about 5 seconds to show up on Steve's computer, so give it another couple of seconds and we'll see.
No, I did. It looked like maybe your icon popped up as if you had typed something, but I can't actually see the text. I'm guessing that that's further off to the right.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm thinking the only thing I can think of is that your
Resizing the screen.
your screen is not
It's too big.
the right size.
Okay, let me get the Samsung remote and see. It just seems kind of weird.
Well, the real problem is, particularly because you're in 4K. If you don't have a 4K TV,
It is.
then it should have automatically figured out the size of your television.
And be able to get out of full screen mode and show you the chat window separately.
Yeah.
The same thing happens on mine. If I'm in full screen, I don't see the chat. Although what's interesting is I have a little icon that looks like it's a chat icon.
Yeah.
So I kind of expected to see the chat, like pop up over top of the video and then hide itself, but it didn't.
Do you know, should it be 16 by 9 or should it be custom on the TV?
I honestly, I'm not in front of it, so I can't tell. Generally 16 by 9.
Yeah.
But you may have to do some playing around with both the Fire Stick manual and your television manual to get the full. We got, when my father-in-law passed, we inherited his TV, and I honestly have no idea what he had done to it. But it took me the longest time to get everything actually working right on it because things were not set up correctly. And you may be in the same situation. Although if you can normally see everything just fine, except YouTube, then play around with the YouTube. If there are any app settings for YouTube, play around with them first. But if you've experienced, I think there's something off the side of my screen that I'm not seeing. So, for example, on your TV right now, you should see on the left side of your screen. Well, I can't see it right now. Stay on the line. This is going to take us a little while.
Sure.
We're going to take a longer break. Back in just a couple of minutes with Dave Enright, Steve Ray, me, Nick Francesco, Jeff from Greece, and you. It is 59 minutes after the hour. It is Soundbites. It is member-supported Jazz 90.1. Take a slightly long bio break. I know I will. And we'll be back with a whole lot more Soundbites.
Online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at soundbites.org. More with Nick Francesco, Dave Enright, and Steve Ray next on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
WGMC Greece Rochester, a public service of the Greece Central School District. Jazz 90.1.
Streaming online at jazz901.org.
An apartment complex fire in downtown Las Vegas has taken the lives of 5 people and injured 13. The fire department says several residents were hanging out of windows as firefighters arrived, and some jumped. A real mess along a busy freight rail line between Harpers Ferry, West Virginia, and Brunswick, Maryland. CSX says 7 cars derailed, 2 cars toppling into the Potomac River. No hazardous materials and no injuries, though. At the start of a big travel weekend, could be a messy day on the road for the South and Pacific Northwest. Dan Peterson is at the Weather Prediction Center.
We're seeing rain developing along the Gulf Coast from Texas to the Florida Panhandle, so travelers along the Gulf Coast, Route 10, and then likewise highways. Highways in far northwestern California, across western Oregon and Washington State are going to have a wet day today.
Shoppers will need umbrellas there for Super Saturday, the year's busiest shopping day. I'm Jan Johnson.
Here's another I Love New York travel tip.
Every winter, New York State turns into one big indoor and outdoor wonderland with both exciting on-the-snow adventures and fun and educational indoor experiences for the whole family. For outdoor thrills, head to the mountains for great skiing and snowboarding. If you're looking for pure exhilaration, try snowmobiling. Or if you're looking for a unique snow adventure, take a tour by dog sled. Off the snow, you can wind down by relaxing in an indoor pool at a hotel, spa, or water park. And you can warm up your body and mind by stepping into the fascinating worlds of art, culture, history, and science at a New York State museum. For more ideas on outdoor and indoor winter fun in New York State, visit the I Love New York website at iloveny.com or dial 1-800-CALL-NYS. Find what you love in New York State.
If you want to support Jazz 90.1 a lot, but your budget says only a little will work, there is a way. It's called the Jazz 90.1 Jazz-O-Matic membership. You can support Jazz 90.1 with a monthly gift of $10 or more, while enjoying the many great thank you gifts that we offer. Jazz 90.1 will deduct that amount automatically every month, and should your circumstances change, you can cancel at any time. Support Jazz 90.1 the way you want to, without bruising your budget, Jazz-O-Matically. For more information on becoming Jazz-O-Matic, call 966-5299 or pledge online at jazz901.org.
If you love Big Band Friday on Jazz 90.1, you'll love Big Band Sunday on Jazz 90.1 Swing and Blues Radio. I'm Rob Linton.
And I'm Phil Dodd. Every Sunday afternoon, we play the best in big band music from artists like Count Basie, Glenn Miller, Buddy Rich, and more.
Round out your weekend with Big Band Sunday on Jazz 90.1 Swing and Blues Radio, our sister station devoted to bringing you great blues all week and big bands and swinging singers all weekend long.
You can listen to Jazz 90.1 Swing and Blues Radio online at jazz901.org and streaming on our free mobile app for your iPhone or Android device.
We keep the big band sound swinging every weekend, only on Jazz 90.1 Swing and Blues Radio.
You are not your diagnosis.
A medical chart is not your identity.
And vision loss does not define you.
Your drive shows who you are.
And you are not alone.
Because we are driven too.
To be a beacon of strength.
A champion of courage.
An advocate for hope.
You are not alone.
Because we are stronger together.
We drive the research for the cures we are finding.
We're fighting macular degeneration,
retinitis pigmentosa,
Usher syndrome,
and the entire spectrum of blinding retinal diseases.
We fund.
We fight.
We win.
We
are the foundation fighting blindness.
Together, we are fighting blindness.
Join the fight at fightingblindness.org.
Jazz 90.1 is supported in part by our members and by Jiba Theater Center's production of A Christmas Carol, on stage from November 27th through December 29th. For more information and to purchase tickets for A Christmas Carol, you may call 232-JIVA or visit jivatheater.org.
You pledged your life to serve. You made sacrifices, lost loved ones. At VA, we don't see the falls you've taken. We see the 1,000 times you've stood back up. We embrace your uniqueness and won't trivialize your hardships. We can't promise to heal all wounds or wash away all trauma, but we do see a path forward. We see all veterans. We see you. Learn how treatment works and recovery is possible. Visit MakeTheConnection.net.
Welcome back to America's longest-running computer show, Sound Bytes, on member-supported Jazz 90.1. Get online now. Call 966-JAZZ. That's 966-5299. Toll free 800-790-0415. Or submit your question by email at soundbytes.org. Once again, here's Nick Francesco, Dave Enright, and Steve Ray on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Nick Francesco.
I'm Dave Enright.
And I'm Steve Ray.
And at 5 minutes after the hour, we are Soundbites, so we still have Jeff from Greece on the line. And good news, Jeff, Steve has an answer.
Well, part of the answer is that you can't do that.
Oops.
I'm seeing a lot of references about it being a Amazon design flaw, that you can't zoom out a full screen mode. There's a couple of suggestions. I've just posted a link. You can go into your accessibility settings and turn on zoom in and zoom out, or you can go into the display settings and change the image size so that it will basically make the image smaller on your screen. So then hopefully there'll be room for the chat window to show up on the right like it should.
Okay.
But it is a flaw in the app itself.
And then the other option they give is use a different app for viewing YouTube.
Okay.
And you already said you have the YouTube app on the television itself, so you might want to give that a try.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
I'll do that. Thanks.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah. Sadly, it's not all
I
perfect.
should try that on my Apple TV to see if the chat functions work.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to try it on mine, too.
Yeah.
The Roku box and on the TV itself. There's lots of different ways to get at this stuff. That goes back to the stuff we were talking about cutting the cord.
Yeah.
And the fact that there are just multiple ways to do it. And the question is which one is best for you. And now, for talking to Jeff, we see that which one actually has all the apps that work.
Yeah. There's a website I found. I don't remember if I mentioned it or not. Suppose.tv. And you go through and you check off all the networks you watch, and it tells you what service has all those networks on it and what package you need from them. So it's got a dozen different streaming services, some I hadn't even heard of, to see which networks you want and which service you may need to get.
Yeah, you just pick the stuff on the left. It's actually in our list of stuff.
Yeah, I know I posted it, but I didn't remember if we actually talked about it.
Yeah.
When I found it, I posted it.
Right. You pick your stations and you pick it by station, so it's not channel 8 or channel 10. It's
right.
CBS, NBC.
Or the name of the program. And the thing of it is, folks, when you're going through it, I know folks get in the frame of mind like right now. All right, they start thinking about the current programs that they're watching.
Right.
In this case, you have to think outside the box. And by that I mean because of the way they break up the programs. Right now, we're watching what they call the winter series of programs. Come January, the spring set starts up. So there are a whole different set of programs that aren't on during, that have been on right now, but don't carry on over to next year. And then there's the ones that start in the summer.
Right.
So there's literally 3 sets of programs that you got to go stop and think of what you watch. Now, like one that my wife and I enjoy is Outlander.
Sure.
That doesn't start until January.
Right.
Before it was starting in October and going up until the Christmas season, but then they switched and wound up going over. So you got to write down all the programs that you want to watch
on each network that you watch them on. Yep.
And write those down.
And again, the network
for the whole year.
Yeah.
Right, not the station number, the actual network.
Yeah.
So if you watch it on CBS or UPN or even it's still a station, that's the way you have to set it up. And then you can go to someplace like Suppose.tv and pick those stations. And again, start with a little bit of constraint. I know 'tis not the season for constraint, but start with a little bit of. I've only had one rumble, so I'm constraining myself magnificently, I believe.
Yeah.
Start with a little constraint. Pick the stations with the things that you actually watch now, and see what your choices are. Then you can go back and add, I'd love to have this channel or that channel or the other channel, and see how it changes your choices.
One thing that I noticed last night, because of switching over from, to Greenlight now.
Yeah.
No more buffering on the TV.
Well, I turn on Netflix and it goes 1%, 2%, 99%, and it starts. Actually, faster than that because I had to actually talk it.
Well, it calculates how long it's going to take. It's already done.
Right.
Well, the different programs, we'd sit there and sometimes you get that wheel
going
around. We did not see that at all.
If you get the wheel now, you know it's a problem somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's not you. It's not you, and it's not your provider.
No, and it was great. It was easy to switch over. Boom, boom, switch. Still doing a little tweaking here and there and that, but otherwise, fast.
Dave, I know you. You'll be tweaking till doomsday.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But yeah, it's fast and it's easy and it's very nice. Very, very nice.
One of the other things is you can keep track of what deals each service is having. I know that for a while, DirecTV was offering a free Apple TV set-top box with a 3-month subscription. I see at Philo TV, they're offering a free Fire Stick 4K with a 6-month subscription. And when most of them on Suppose.tv, when I put in all the networks I watch, YouTube TV plus Philo TV gives you all your channels. So you may have to subscribe to different TV services, which is no problem on the internet. It would be like you subscribing to cable TV and satellite TV because one thing you want to watch is on one service and one thing is on another service. When you're on the internet, everything sort of blurs together and it doesn't matter where it comes from.
Right.
And most of the streaming services work with all of the set-top boxes, the Roku, Apple TV, Fire TV. And a lot of TVs have their own services built into the TV now. Like our previous caller said, YouTube was built into a Samsung TV, and you may not need to get an external set-top box.
Yeah, well, the TV I just got, and it wasn't that expensive. It was only a 32-inch. Instead of having to have different remotes, one for the Roku and one for the actual TV, now it all comes in one little remote.
Right, so it's much easier.
Yeah, and it's there.
Yep. It's getting easier. It's getting faster. One thing that you really need to be aware of is that you will be making some compromises. And one of the things that I often see, and this just I have to shake my head. Are people stupid enough to not to fall for this? You often get an article about cutting the cord, which seems to be written by a cable company.
Yeah.
Because they'll say you have to buy an internet service and you have to buy a phone service and you have to buy your packages, and when you're done, it costs the same as buying cable. Well, that would be true, except you're already paying for internet service, and most people have cell phones which are separate.
Yeah.
So you can deduct those costs.
And you're already paying for it anyway.
For it anyway. So those costs don't enter into the change in cost. So you really, they'll say you're only saving about $50 a month. Well, you're saving $50 a month. That's $50 a month.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
And there's streaming services you pay for from no matter what television service you use. So if you subscribe to Netflix to watch those shows, you're going to do that whether you have cable TV or internet TV.
Right.
So don't count that either.
Right.
So the basically internet television with a service like YouTube TV or Sling TV gives you the TV channels that you're used to from cable TV. The local, the ABC, NBC, CBS, USA, CNN. So instead of subscribing to them from Spectrum Cable TV, you can subscribe from another internet TV service, and often a lot cheaper than the cable TV package. I know to get Science Channel, I have to pay another $25 a month to get the next tier up.
Right.
So I just wait a month or two, and then the same shows are on Discovery Channel because it's the same company.
Right. Yeah. The other thing to remember, we'll get to the phones in a moment, but the other thing to remember is some of these services have cloud DVRs. So you can say, I want to record this show.
Sling does.
Yep. YouTube TV does. Almost all of them do at this point.
Yeah, it's
so you can select a certain number of shows. In YouTube, it's unlimited for 9 months. They will save any show or number of shows for 9 months. So you can, but each of them is different.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can then say, oh, yeah, I want to watch such and so, but I'm not home Wednesday nights. I want to watch Forged in Fire, and I'm not home Wednesday nights. I'll record it. And you can do that. And you can do that. So, all right, back to the phones. Our next caller is Ed from Henrietta, New York. Hi, Ed. What's up?
Yeah, hi. Forgive me if you already talked about this because I just couldn't get you until now. My question is on a Roku stick. If I do not have a hotspot and a router in my house, the only Wi-Fi I have is on my smartphone. Is it possible to use get from your phone to the Roku stick, or do you have to have Wi-Fi already in your house before you use that?
You can turn your phone into a hotspot, depending on the phone and depending on the carrier. There might be additional charges for that. But generally speaking, cellular internet is much more expensive than having cable or fiber internet in your house.
Right. Just say, for example, if I wanted to watch, for argument, the Chicago Bears game, or say like the Bills every once in a while. I get that on my phone already, but you almost have to have a magnifying glass if you want to get a tablet. And I was just curious if the mechanism existed where you could stream that from your phone directly to your TV. And I heard about a Roku.
Yeah,
stick,
there's a couple of ways to do it. You can turn your phone into a hotspot, and then with your set-top box, join that Wi-Fi hotspot, and then the box is on the internet. The other way is through simulcasting.
Chromecasting or simulcasting.
Chromecast with a Chrome stick, or AirPlay with an Apple box. I forget what Roku calls theirs.
Yeah,
but the same sort of thing. You mirror your phone to the television, so the signal is actually coming from your phone and then being connected to the television through the set-top box. Or if your phone has an output, most of them you can plug like an HDMI cable in to your phone, connect it to the television with a wire, which is a little annoying to have it wired. So something like a Roku box or a Chromecast or Apple TV box, you can do all that wirelessly from the couch.
Who is your carrier for your phone company?
Verizon.
Verizon has a deal with the FCC. They are obligated by law to allow people to create hotspots with their phones.
Oh, I don't know that. That's
so
great.
yeah, you should be able to do that. So what kind of phone do you have?
I got a Samsung that's a J7 Crown.
Okay, I'm not familiar with that model. Do you know what version of Android it's running?
Boy, I know you're going to ask that. I don't, Nick. I should look. I don't. I've never bothered to look it up.
Well, that's okay. But if it's running a version that will let you do this under settings, you should be able to search the settings, in fact, and find hotspot. But it's under network and internet. And there's a section called hotspot and tethering. And it should be off. And one of the choices when you go there is to turn on a Wi-Fi hotspot. And that will let you share your data plan with as if it were a wireless router in your home. Now, two things. You want to turn that off when you leave the house. And two, if you don't have unlimited data, that's going to cost you a lot of money.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, that's one thing about it. So, but my understanding is the Roku goes in the HDMI port and said use one of the. I think I've only got two on this television. So I got the TV last year. It's not a smart TV from Best Buy, and it only has two inputs for 1 and 2 HDMI. And it said you have to in an unused port plug in the Roku stick.
Right.
And I didn't know if that would if you do that, because I get my signal off the air through rabbit ears.
Okay.
And it's pretty good. I didn't know if that would automatically cut that off when you stuck the Roku stick in.
What happens is one of the choices you have on your television remote is called input. And you change where you get your signal from.
And the Roku, doesn't it normally, and the Fire Stick all go off USB?
No, they all go off of
USB for power sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
But they all go off HDMI. So what happens is when you hit that input, you'll see cable, HDMI 1, HDMI 2, and probably off air. I think
antenna maybe.
Maybe antenna.
Yeah.
And right now it's probably on antenna if that's how you're getting your signal. And you would change that to HDMI 1 or 2, whichever one you plugged your Roku into, and then you would see the Roku box, and now you would use the Roku remote to play around with that.
Right, but it says on the, I was looking on the web just briefly before I called you, and it said once you get that up, you have a menu come up, et cetera. But does that presume though that it's how will it know that your phone is a hotspot? Would you be able to just
once you
program it that way?
Yes,
you
once
plugged in the stick.
Once you actually have the Roku box running, one of the choices is network on their menu.
It's probably the initial setup too. Pick your network.
Well, there's an initial setup, and you pick all kind. You have to put in all kinds of things like your Roku. It'll send you to the web to type in your code and all this other stuff. And one of the choices there is set up your network. So then what'll happen is it'll take a look around and see that it'll list all of the available Wi-Fi connections that are available in your area. One of them will be the hotspot that you set up. When you set it up, take a look at the name it's got, or change the name on your phone. And so you'll know what that name is.
And that password.
And set a password. And then you pick that one, enter the password, and it will connect. So anytime your phone is in hotspot mode, you will be able to connect the Roku box to it automatically after that first time.
Neat. Okay, hey, I'm going to get one. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Take
there
care.
you go. Thank you. Yep. All right, let me, before we go back to the phones at 585-966-JAZZ, that's 966-5299, and toll free at 1-800-790-0415. A couple of people are in the chat. Our Chandra, aspect ratio, what a pain. Yeah, you ain't kidding.
Yep.
Mark says, I'm on my iPhone and saw this option, obviously for the chat, which is pretty cool. Seems to work here. Nice show. Thank you, Mark. And Jeffrey, who had just called, said he used the phone app and the Chromecast, and live chat works on both of those devices. And his original reason for wanting live chat was to give the Apple Lisa guy a suggestion. So Dan, he says, Jeffrey says, donate it to the nonprofit that was mentioned with the condition that they wipe the drive. And that's another choice.
Yep.
If you donate it to Apple Cider, Steve will be absolutely certain that drive gets wiped. Okay.
So now we have we have to monitor that chat. This is an unmoderated chat.
Right.
We may or may not be able to see it while we're looking up other things.
Right. It's not the thing I go to first. I'll tell you that right now.
Is IRC still running? Remember they were running.
Oh yeah, they were. I don't know if
in the
they still
background
are.
After we stopped following it.
Don't open that can of worms. All right, I'm the one who had the rum ball, and you've just sent me to Dave from Candy.
Canandaigua.
Yeah, I know, but it says Candy.
Oh.
Okay, Dave from Candy, New York. Hi, Dave. What's up?
Well, I wanted to make a suggestion for the previous caller. If you get a cellular bill for $2,000, that means you probably left your setup where everybody in the neighborhood is using your data stream to get on the internet.
Yeah.
And companies are getting less likely to reverse those charges because you should have known better.
Right. But you're absolutely right, Dave. You want to be careful. You definitely want to set a password. As we always recommend, passwords should be long and complex and unique.
Right.
Thanks.
So the real reason I called, I'm sort of working my way up towards like a real smartphone.
Oh, nice.
Tablet at the moment, and I'm just wondering, I'm a Windows desktop guy through and through, but is there some kind of a client? They don't have Thunderbird to go on Android. So I'm wondering, is there a decent email client for a tablet?
Doesn't Google have one of their own?
Yeah. Well, Google. It depends on who your provider is.
Right. I have multiple addresses, which is why
Blue Mail. I haven't tried it myself, and I probably should.
What was it? Vmail?
Blue as in the color blue.
Oh.
It supports Outlook, Office 365, Yahoo Exchange, Gmail, pretty much everything.
Okay.
And that's called Blue Mail, and it is available on Google Play. I have not set that up myself, but it's the number one that everybody uses, and it's free. So honestly, you don't like it, toss it. Right? I mean, what the heck?
Well,
So
I'll give it a try.
yeah, and it's 500,000 people are using it, and it's got a 4.6 rating. So
Not bad.
yeah.
All right. Well, my time's not worth anything anyway, so yeah. All right. That'll do. Have a Merry Christmas.
You too. Thanks.
Is that allowed?
Yes, it's absolutely allowed. Mail support is available for IMAP and ActiveSync, EWS, POP3, so that pretty much covers every single conceivable web app out on the market.
That was my CANDIG.
Oh, IG, I see.
Canendig.
It looked like candy. I'm sorry, it looked like candy. Will you put up a list for? Yeah,
like
thank you. I see that. So does everybody on the YouTube.
I'm on camera. Strategically placed.
Will you put up a link to Blue Mail?
I did 10 best Android
Oh,
email
fine.
apps, and Blue Mail's the first one.
Perfect. All right, so that's a good thing. Yeah, so we have. I'm glad we're letting people find. Oh, look, lots of people an hour in the chat.
Uh-oh.
We've started. We've created a monster. General Class, Archandra's right. K9 is another good one. But Steve did put up a link to 10 of them, so you can certainly pick and choose and play around and find the one that you like the best. And we're going to quickly go to Tom from Brighton, New York. Hi, Tom. What's up?
Yeah, hi. I've been having problems. I've got two Windows 10 machines, and I'm having problems with Chrome on both of them. One of them, Chrome comes up, but most of my bookmarks are gone. And I did a system restore about a week or so ago because it wasn't working, and I'm not sure. If I do a reinstall of Chrome, will I lose my bookmarks or my history?
Theoretically not.
But back them up.
One of the things that we talked about at the top of the show was the fact that there was a Chrome mishap, and they
Yeah, I missed that.
Mishap.
Yeah, you missed. Yeah, what happened was they put out a new version of WebView, which is one of the subroutines in there, and WebView went to the wrong address, so a lot of people lost a lot of stuff. It's not gone; it's still there. If you update again, go into Chrome and do an update directly in Chrome. It should, at this point, download the new one and make it be. And make it find your stuff again.
Now, in the other machine, Chrome is gone completely. I mean, it's gone. And I'm wondering, once again, if I do that reinstall of Chrome would somehow find the old bookmarks and history.
Well, if you've been syncing your bookmarks...
Yeah, let's turn on Chrome Sync on the browser that's still working now, and then it syncs it to Google.
Well, except that he doesn't have anything in that one either. Right, so
go back in time and before.
Yeah, right. If you've been syncing your stuff to your Google Drive account, then anytime you install a new version of Chrome and sign into Google, it will download. It may ask you, depending on the version of how you've got it set up.
Password.
Once you put in your username and password, it should go out to Google Drive and see if there is anything to sync.
Okay.
So, for example, when I set up this Chromebook last week, I turned it on, put in my username and password. It brought down, because it's a Chromebook, it not only brought down all of my bookmarks for Chrome, but it also brought down all of my apps and everything else because I sync them to Google Drive. So anytime I have something, it syncs in. It syncs up to Google Drive.
Okay. All right, that's a potential path. Thank you.
Sure.
One of the dangers of syncing we'll get to after the break.
Yeah, right. We are going to take a quick break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes with Dave Enright, Steve Ray, Rob Linton, me, Nick Francesco, and you. It is 30 minutes after the hour. For some unknown reason, you're listening to the longest-running computer show in the known universe. It's Soundbites, right here on the member-supported, and truly grateful to you that we can be that. Jazz 90.1. See you on the other side.
Before you call into our show, please make note of the following rules. 1, turn your radio down. 2, turn your radio down lower. 3, remember, nobody has invented a good-sounding speakerphone yet. Don't use them. 4, make sure you have a point. It makes for a more interesting show. 5, calling does not guarantee you'll get on the air. No whining. 6, if you do get on the air, please do not tell the host what you just told the screener. We don't care. And 7, is that radio turned down yet? We hope this will make for a more enjoyable program, and we thank you for your time.
It's America's longest-running computer show. Back to more Sound Bites with Nick, Dave, and Steve. Next on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Official WGMC contest rules are available online at www.jazz901.org.
Now you can explore Rochester and surrounding areas with a member card as your guide. When you make a gift of $90.10 or more, we'll send you a Jazz 90.1 member card. Then enjoy savings at hundreds of restaurants and attractions near you. So what are you waiting for? Call and become the newest member of Jazz 90.1 today. 966-5299 or online at jazz901.org.
When you underwrite the programming of Jazz 90.1, you make your business known to people who enjoy jazz as much as you do. Your on-air message is short and tasteful, making it easy to remember with basic information about your business, including how to reach you. Underwriting is economical, too. To find out more about underwriting Jazz 90.1, call 966-2660. That's 966-2660.
Now you can explore Rochester and surrounding areas with a member card as your guide when you make a gift of $90.10 or more. We'll send you a Jazz 90.1 member card, then enjoy savings at hundreds of restaurants and attractions near you. So what are you waiting for? Call and become the newest member of Jazz 90.1 today. Call 966-5299 or go online at jazz901.org.
Question: what will you find on all over-the-counter or OTC medicine packages to help you choose the right drug and use it safely? The answer: the drug facts label. This label lists the medicine's active ingredients and purpose, how much to take, and warnings you should know before using it. Remember, even OTC medicines you buy without a prescription can cause side effects you don't want. So follow the information listed on the drug facts label. For more information, visit fda.gov/drug facts label. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
Dear humans, I stand here today not for myself, but for every tail wagger, sloppy kisser, and curtain ninja. I stand here for each one of the thousands of dogs and cats killed in shelters each day, asking you to join our cause and help us make sure every best friend has a chance to meet one of their own. With Best Friends Animal Society leading the charge and your help, we can save them all.
Vehicle accidents are stressful enough. You don't need someone showing up at the scene trying to pressure you into letting them tow away your vehicle. Call your roadside assistance provider or insurance company for towing company suggestions, or consult with police on the scene. And always have the price and terms in writing before you let them hook it up. If you suspect fraud, call us at 1-800-TEL-NICB or visit www.nicb.org. A public service message from the National Insurance Crime Bureau.
Hey, Mike, I usually run into your wife Susan here at the supermarket.
Susan had to find a part-time job. Ever since we retired, it's getting harder to make ends meet.
Have you heard about benefitscheckup.org?
Benefitscheckup.org?
Benefitscheckup.org is a free website where people over 60 can see if they qualify for help to pay for food, medicine, even utilities. Benefitscheckup.org helped me get $1,200 a year in benefits. Maybe it can help you.
And now your Jazz 90.1 weather.
Clouds will give way to some sunshine for your Saturday across Rochester, Western New York, and the Finger Lakes as we begin a very quiet stretch of weather here across all of Western New York and the Finger Lakes. The high temperature in the upper 30s, certainly cold to start. Tonight brings patchy clouds and starlight, not as cold. The overnight low temperature in the upper 20s. The wind shifts into the southwest and gives us some much milder air for Sunday with a fair amount of sunshine as well, the high in the mid-40s. I'm meteorologist Josh Nichols for Jazz 90.1.
And currently right now we've got overcast skies, 29 degrees out at the airport, and a balmy 34. That's 34, folks, here at Jazz 90.1.
This is Jeff Harris. Please join me every Sunday, 5 to 7 p.m. for Classic Blues, right here on member-supported Jazz 90.1.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm Nick Francesco.
I'm Dave Enright.
And I'm Steve Ray.
And at 36 minutes after the hour, we are Soundbites. Is that 34 degrees in the evil Celsius or the freedom height?
Freedom height.
Freedom height.
It's gone up 2 degrees.
If that was Celsius, we'd be in shorts right now. Because that would be like 90 degrees.
89.
80.
Yeah, it would be, yeah. Well, it looks like I could... that's IRC. Oh, yes. There are IRC clients in the Linux section of Chromebook. I am not going to start that. Yeah, but I could run XChat.
Wasn't there a great XKCD about IRC? In 200 years, there'll be some IRC server with a diehard guy saying, it doesn't work on IRC, I can't use it.
All right, back to the phones. Our next caller is Larry from Rochester, New York. What's up, Larry?
Good afternoon, guys, and I hope you have a good holiday.
You too.
My question is, I have a Lenovo Yoga 2 that has a 500 gigabyte hard drive, but only 4 gigabytes of RAM. I bought it for my grandson a couple of years ago, and we upgraded to Win 10 when the upgrade was free, and now Win 10 has just brought it to its knees.
Oh, sure. 4 gig is not enough for Windows 10.
It just is useless for that. So I'm thinking about repurposing it for some other work at our church by putting Ubuntu on it.
Sure.
What I'd like to know, I guess 3 questions. First of all, is Ubuntu 4 gigabyte enough for that to run?
Yes.
Okay. Next question.
That was easy.
I think I know how to, from what I've been able to find, to repartition it so that I can dual boot it. But what I'd really like to know is what would happen if I tried to erase Win 10 altogether? Would the machine even work?
It should boot with no problems. Before I did that, however, I would suggest that you run Ubuntu from a bootable thumb drive.
I have one. I actually did it for my Mac, and now I dual boot my Mac with Ubuntu from time to time just to kind of keep my hand in with it. So I have a bootable, I think, 8.16 something, but as soon as I put it in, it immediately upgraded itself to 18.04 or something like that.
Oh, right.
Which is what I'm safe with. I don't like taking chances with stuff I don't understand very well. So I'm comfortable with the 1800 version as opposed to the 1900, which doesn't have, I guess, long-term service or something like that.
Right.
But as I said, what I'm really thinking about doing is just deleting Win 10 altogether and just making it a pure Linux machine. And is that possible?
It should be possible. One thing you should probably do is go to certification.ubuntu.com.
Certification.ubuntu.com.
Spelled it properly, apparently.
If you spell it properly, you will get there. I promise you that. Certification.ubuntu.com.
Certification.ubuntu.com. Okay.
And one of the things you can do is up at the top in the yellow bar, select desktop.
Mm-hmm.
And under what?
My bar's
orange. Sorry, orange. I had a rum ball an hour and a half ago. I'm not responsible.
Well, I'm on Safari. You're on Chrome. It might be different.
You should not be doing alcohol.
Oh, ain't that the truth?
Okay.
Click on desktop. That will take you to a list. You can go to, in that list, you can go to Lenovo.
Okay.
There are 70 some odd choices there.
Oh, boy.
Okay. And then search for yoga, and you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have all different names, so just calling it a Yoga 2 doesn't tell me anything.
Okay.
Unfortunately, but you should be able to figure out from that list, and what it'll tell you is how well everything works, and et cetera, et cetera.
Okay.
What brand computer did you say it was?
It's
Lenovo.
Lenovo. Yeah, you just said it. Yeah.
Yoga 2. I think IBM makes it or made it.
They did. It's the ThinkPad brand was sold to Lenovo.
Oh, okay.
Which was sold to a Chinese company. So IBM has nothing to do with, for, 10 years now, I think.
Yeah.
The computers, yeah.
But they still make ThinkPads with much the same tank-like quality.
Yeah. One of the things that I was worried about is that some of the lower tier brands rely so heavily on Windows drivers that you probably couldn't run pure Linux on it.
Right.
So
that's kind of what I was afraid
Lenovo's,
of. Would it be doing something that Linux simply wouldn't recognize and depended actually on Windows to provide?
Right, but Lenovo is a popular enough brand that it probably is.
And if you search Ubuntu on Yoga 2, you'll find that a bunch of people are saying things like Ubuntu on Lenovo Yoga 2 Pro. I don't know if you have a Pro or not. I don't know.
I'm going to have to actually check that out.
Right. It is awesome. And here's another one that says it's great. Here's another one that says been running it for over a year and blah, 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 blah. So it certainly works. Again, I would play with a live distro, a live thumb drive first.
Okay.
Just to be on the safe side. But once that's done, one of the things you can do, of course, is install Linux from the thumb drive. Right. And when you do that, you have a choice of set it up as dual boot or wipe out the drive and just put Ubuntu on it. So it all becomes chauffeur driven, basically. So it's easy enough to manage and easy enough to do, but you just have to pay very special attention to each screen before you just go next.
Oh, okay. Got it. Well, I think I may take the safer route first and just try to set it up from the thumb drive and see what happens before I go maybe kill it, because I did look to see if the RAM could be upgraded, and unfortunately it's sorted into the whatever, so that you can't do that. So I'm going to try this. I hate to put a good machine to pasture someplace, so if I can do this, I can use it for something else.
That's exactly right.
Is Neverware's Cloud Ready. If pure Linux won't work, maybe Cloud Ready turns it into a Chromebook.
There's also Puppy Linux and Damn Small Linux and a whole bunch of lesser Linuxes that will work just fine on lesser amounts of RAM. But 4 gig, I've put together many laptops with just 4 gig of RAM with Ubuntu, and they work gangbusters.
Great. Okay, well, as usual, you have an answer, so thank you very much. I'm going to turn and listen to the rest of the show, and then I'm going to get on it and see what we come up with.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Let us know.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. You can put Linux on dang near any hardware. As we said to Larry, you should absolutely try it from a live thumb drive first. And then when you go to install it, there's just a little, what I think it looks, I haven't done it this way in a long time. It looks like a CD. You double click on that, it says install Ubuntu, and you can then either wipe out the drive and just put Ubuntu on everything, or you can do a boot. And in Larry's case, of course, Windows 10 has gotten so slow and horrible on that machine that there's no point in dual booting.
Which it does to a lot of machines.
Well,
unfortunately,
4 gig is not enough these days.
No. Well, as we have said, they keep raising the price of poker. And if you want to play in the game, you've got to step up and upgrade the machines. And thus, that's why a lot of folks are still staying with Windows 7.
Right.
Only from the standpoint that they can't go out and buy a new machine like all these companies just think, oh, well, there's an endless pit and you can just keep buying new machine just to do the simple stuff. And now Chromebooks, which have come out, are a lot cheaper and they'll do everything. And you don't have to put up with the stupid operating system.
Right. This one upgraded this morning. I turned it on this morning at home.
Mine did last night when I was in the ham shack and turned it on, and all of a sudden it says, "Oh, got an update here." Yep. Oh, okay, go ahead, start it up. And
I was setting up for today and doing all of that stuff, and suddenly the little pop up at the bottom. I clicked on it, says restart. You got an update. Okay, I can do that. That's easy enough. All right, Bob from Henrietta is on the line. Hi, Bob. What's up?
Oh, good afternoon.
It is.
First off, be sure he dumps a quarter into the swear job for bragging about Greenlight.
Yeah. See, it's Dave that does this every week.
So now it's my turn.
Somebody was complaining to me that I talk about Greenlight too often.
A lot of us out there, where I am, Greenlight's web page basically says drop dead. We're not even taking orders, so I'm not likely to see it for quite some time.
I wouldn't say so. I mean, the way Galisano's throwing money at it right now,
but where is he throwing? This is the real reason for my call. Where is he throwing it? Buffalo.
Well, they just
delay rollout here.
They just opened the partnership with the Chase so that they can do faster and more installs.
The problem here in Rochester remains easements. I don't know if they will have that same problem once they open in Buffalo, but the problem here is easements. You can't just run a line anywhere you want. You have to get permission. Some of that permission comes from homeowners. Some of that permission comes from whoever owns the easement rights, which is often...
In other words, in this area, Rochester Telephone, they own the telephone.
Right, and so
some of them are also Frontier.
Some of them are Frontier, and some of
them
are...
Well, that's all one company.
Right. Sometimes it's Frontier, sometimes it's Time Warner. And I suspect that they're not eager to provide easements, but I don't know that. But that's a large part of the issue here in town, and I don't know if the same issue will apply in Buffalo, but my hope is that Greenlight goes everywhere because I want them to be so big that they just keep on keeping on.
Well, see, the thing of it is,
I'd
now
like
that
to see it too, but
wait a minute.
There's a realistic outlook. Probably not in my lifetime.
No, I wouldn't say that because now that Buffalo aside, here in Rochester, they just teamed up with another big company that is going to
construction
and is going to do a lot of their major construction and expanding this. Having more people on board is going to make it expand a lot faster in the Rochester area than
remember,
before.
A company is not a pie. If I cut a piece off to give to somebody else, doesn't mean we have less. It could be a second pie. No, it doesn't.
Nobody's resources are infinite.
No, but it doesn't mean that we would have gotten more.
Right.
Right? It doesn't mean we're getting fewer resources. It just means
I think they're going to be focusing on Buffalo, and it's great for the people around here that
one of us is right about this, and I think it's not you at this point.
Optimistic for those of us who are waiting in the dark yet.
No, I get it. I absolutely get it.
I think you'll get there because the Buffalo area is just a whole separate entity that's going to be more people in the Buffalo area and resources in that area. Here in Rochester, the resources that we have here are staying here. He's trying to spread the wealth as far as employment and everything else, giving better service. And, he sees the value that, this is a great thing that Galisano got into. Let's face it. It's the way of the future. You go riding around and you look.
He's not a dumb man.
You go, just sit in a mall and you see more people with their faces down into their phones or watching tablets. The kids nowadays go around with their tablets. Parents throw the kids in the back of the van and they give them their tablets and they turn on, some movie or something else. It's the way of the future. He sees that.
I bet that killed the in-car entertainment system.
No, maybe.
Screens in
but
the back.
But at any rate, Bob, the fact is he didn't cut up our pie.
No.
He baked a second pie.
Yeah, he's got another.
We don't have less pie.
And he's already started in Syracuse, too. That was
but if he puts all his pies where he started here, we're going to get faster service. We're going to get service.
Well, the Buffalo construction companies aren't going to come to Rochester to run the lines.
Yeah, they're not going to happen any faster.
Chase based Rochester?
Right, LaChase and Rochester. They're using different companies in Buffalo and different companies in Syracuse.
Right.
We shall see, but I was not pleased to read that announcement.
Well, but much of what you're seeing in delays is not Greenlight's fault.
Right.
It's things outside of their control.
We've even heard stories.
They got to buy access rights from whoever.
Right, and we've seen stories that some areas are never going to get it because a competitor lives on that street and won't allow access.
Right. So there's unfortunately it's a lot more about politics than it is about technology. If it was technology, it'd be a solved issue right now.
Yeah, but politics is a lot more expensive to fix.
That's exactly right. All right, thanks, Bob. Bye-bye. Yeah, he's not wrong. It's the politics that are the.
And the thing of it is, though, is you can tell that Spectrum is starting to get worried, and from that I mean, they knew it was coming in my neighborhood, and then all of a sudden, magically, in our area, we went from 60 megabits per second up to 100.
Yep.
And they're saying just to further enhance your experience with internet, we're bumping you up to 100.
And some places are getting 200 because Greenland is now offering 5.
Right.
At no extra charge. Well, they knew that they were setting up in my area with the green light. And
but now you can get 5 times the speed for less money a month.
My modem is already packaged up and ready to go back on Tuesday.
Yep. Although it's an issue that they have because they've got one of the problems is being a first responder sort of person.
Yeah.
They've spent an incredible amount of money building out an infrastructure that is now becoming obsolete. So how do you handle that issue? It's the issue that Frontier had. If they can run copper to your house and give you 56K, and Spectrum can run cable to your house and give you 100 meg, which one are you going to go with? And now fiber, Greenlight brings fiber to your house and you get 500 meg, which one are you going to go with? It's not the fault of the older technologies. It's just simply the fact of the older technology.
And the other thing, too, though, is let's face it, if cable wanted to, they could have upped the speeds a long time ago.
Well,
they have the capabilities to give a lot faster speed than they were currently offering.
But again, that requires switch outs of a lot of their head ends and other equipment farther back, and that's a huge investment of money.
Well, guess where they're going to lose out now?
I'm not saying that they shouldn't have. I'm saying that that's...
I know what you're saying, yeah.
That's a reason, and I get it. It's an issue that people have, and that's honestly, it doesn't matter who comes in with what. It's all good for us. Competition amongst them is good for us.
And where Tom was, I think misunderstanding it. Him investing over in Buffalo. That's going to be a whole nother, like you said, pie that he is going to have over there because he's already setting up in Syracuse. He was in both Rochester and Syracuse for the longest time, and he has been.
Yep.
And it's just now going to different areas and starting to do the...
I'm very happy for Mark. I'm very happy for Tom. I think that it's a very good thing.
Yeah.
In the next few years,
it's a win-win. I mean, it's employing a lot more folks to go around and do the installations and, service and everything else, and it's something we should have had a long time ago.
Yep.
I mean,
all right. Before we go, we got a minute left?
About less than that.
Less than that. I just want to say, don't go away. For those of you who've missed it, the German show is returning. There's going to be a special edition today, and then I'm not sure if it starts next week or after the new year. But the German show will have a special hour coming up next. So if you're into the German music, as so many of you are, now is the time to listen. It should be pretty fun hour. So stay tuned. I believe Rob Linton will be in as well. So that's going to be always an excitement. I just want to say thanks to everybody, not just for listening to this show, but for listening for an entire year. I want to say happy holidays, whether you celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Festivus, I don't caremus, whatever floats your boat, I'm happy for you. But we'll be back next week with a whole lot more of the longest running computer show in the known universe. Dave Enright, Steve Ray, me, Nick Francesco, and you. It is 55 minutes after the hour. Stay tuned for German music, and we will be back next week with a whole lot more sound bites right here on the Truly Great. And truly grateful to you, because it's you that lets us continue to be member-supported Jazz 90.1. We will see you in just 166 hours. Have fun. Be good to each other.
Our hearts are made stronger by how we treat others.
Put her there.
The light you share can impact those around you, but so can the darkness.
Later, twerps.
Did Pete saying mean things bother you?
So when you reach out to another person,